All my niggas ride for me. I got niggas that'll die for me. You niggas ain't built like that. Run around talking like a thug when you won't bust a slug, man. Niggas get killed like that. Acting like you bang for the set when you ain't blood or cuz, man. Blood'll get spilled like that. Niggas saying really they the plug, but they talking to the judge, man. Get your cat built like that. Cause niggas get killed like that. When you ain't built like that. You niggas ain't built like that. You was never on the block, you ain't never dodged a knock. You ain't never fought another crew holding down the park. You ain't swam with the sharks, you ain't wrestled with the gators. You was never fucking popping, you ain't got no fucking haters. Bitch, niggas like you make me watch out for the traitors. When you round some real niggas, mind your behavior. I will beat a nigga ass, then I'm laughing like I'm Jada. Get your fucking mind blown like a cartridge on a Sega. You niggas want attention, they don't want the war though. Talking all that shit, but you got a glass jaw, ho. They never deliver. They got that DiGiorno, this that Walking Dead flow. I eat a rapper torso. You ain't the same man once you off the microphone. You ain't never broke a bone, you ain't never had a scar. You a certified pussy, so don't make me pull your car. I'm a certified prophet, respected like the word of God. Cause you ain't got the heart, nigga, you ain't got the heart. You ain't about to finish any beef that you start. You ain't never been a soldier, little nigga, play your part. Claiming that you spark when you ain't got the heart. Cause you niggas ain't built like that. Run around talking like a thug when you won't bust a slug, man. Niggas get killed like that. Acting like you bang for the set when you ain't blood or cuz, man. Blood'll get spilled like that. Niggas saying really they the plug, but they talking to the judge, man. Get your... Cause niggas get killed like that. When you ain't built like that. Run around talking like a thug when you won't bust a slug, man. Niggas get killed like that. Acting like you bang for the set when you ain't blood or cuz, man. Blood'll get spilled like that. Niggas saying really they the plug, but they talking to the judge, man. Get your cat built like that. Cause niggas get killed like that. All my niggas ride for me. All my niggas ride with me. I got niggas that'll die for me. All my niggas ride with me. You niggas ain't.
It's hard to be you in the world you can't trust. They speaking vanity, but they ain't saying much. Got a swag, make a bad bitch blush. My power of perfection, so they keep stumbling, ain't good enough. And plus, I'm stalking revenge. I don't know if it's love or it's lust. You know my bio, I ain't giving up. And if I gotta be corrupt, I can't live it up. The truth is, I need more bucks. I bear arms like a crutch. And if you want beef, we make it cold cuts. I ain't your typical nigga. I'm a professional with red form. Probably transposed to the celestial. This the home of the truth, and that's where it stays. This world trying to manipulate me in the maze. But I gotta get it on in these last days. I'ma do it my way. I ain't trimming my ways. Hey, I'm coming for the glory. And you say these devils out. He ain't solid, he falls. How I feel when you're real and you're really just the only one. And I know they gon' cross. That's why they still stay about. On this road, on the low, that's how I feel when you're real and you're really just the only one. These niggas covered in another spirit. If it ain't authentic, I ain't trying to hear it. Not a word. He brought Molly, I brought brimstone. I got my feet in the ground like the Flintstones. Ready to snap like a wishbone. You fucking get witty, or you get blitzed on. I'm a spectacle to him, they don't know what he on. My retribution gon' be sweeter than a honeycomb. I love my women, they stack dollars for me. Pick up the highs, he like a father to me. He got me swinging like Ray Charles. You not in the 20 with they flaws, boy. I I'm flying in projectiles. Mighty man, nigga, that's word to my stepchild. You shout out the clock, I miss you shouting. But they lost in the angels gonna get you for me. Hey, I'm coming for the glory. Hey, the shakies that was out. He ain't solid, he falls I feel when you're real and you're really just the only one. And I know they gon' cross. That's why they still stay about. On this road, on the low, that's how I feel when you're real and you're really just the only one. Time man shit. Make sure you let these niggas know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Get on this motherfucker. Let these niggas know what time it is. You understand? The roads. King Ty really one of the realest. I survived drive-bys from them killers. Like I got 9 lives, I got 9 wives. I said fine wine with them bitches. I'm spitting fire bombs in your city. I got like 8 or 9 niggas with me. And we all ready to die in a minute. One West, we the best in the business. I get offended, I fuck niggas spend it. Talking and get it, but niggas is in it. Rappers is softer than limit. Trade me your parking lot pimping. What more can I give you? I've been the hottest forever. Why would I lie about cheddar? I can do better. I just put loyalty first. Royalty coming whenever. Pull up in the Jetta. Currency on me, you sweater. My feel like wearing a sweater in summertime weather. Haters so salty, no pepper. You not that seasoned or clever. I'm with the rebel. Used to pump bass with the treble. Baking and cake in a kettle. I used to cook up the work. Now I just cook with the metal. Gotta keep foot to the pedal. Yeah, let me give it gas on the highway. Let the music blast on the Conde. Break the Glocks down in the 3 parts. Put it together like Menage. To the bomb page with my enclave. Got my mind made. Ain't no time waste. Eating brown steak with a fine day at a fine place. Getting violated. Hey, listen. I already told these niggas. You understand? I called up King Ty. He said, what's up? I said, what's good, my lord? Listen, he like, listen. These niggas ain't ready for none of this. You understand? I said, listen, if the nigga ain't one West, he ain't got on his arm or his chest. I don't give a fuck about the nigga. It's just me and my niggas. We royalty here. I got the hammer, you running, man. Come through your window like rubber man. Snapping your neck like a rubber band. Talking my jaw like the sun is set. He told me murder you rappers. Because sending you vertical actors. Y'all got me coming with verbal attackers. I might attack you type physical too. So y'all be rhyming the way y'all be shining. I'm finding these rappers like Mr. McCool. These haters miserable, we indivisible. Look at these haters like they got no clue. They hold up ones and them W's. Really, bro, don't get too comfortable. If you ain't cut from the cough, cause I'm the boss, then we do not fuck with you. Cause you wouldn't last here. I told you the same shit last year. Keep talking that trash. I have a car to kick your ass there. Your jaw like glassware. We pull up now rocking no mask there. Don't care if you spot us, you know how you got us. It's over. You saying your last prayer. Like me. No, he ain't nothing like me. I hate these niggas crap, they ain't nothing like me. I be running mad like I fucking sightsee. Cause I be speaking facts, you ain't nothing like me. No, you ain't nothing like me. And every time I'm movie and I feel like Spike Lee. With a couple women and they all white feet, might be. No, you ain't nothing like me. No, you ain't nothing like a real one. These fuck boys gon' make me have to kill one. But I ain't wanna do it, I just say fuck the music. Because the game getting lame on this fucking new shit. But I'm on a level by myself. Tried to bottle up my style and put it on the shelf. Crawled up out the mud like I ain't never need no help. Now they wanna swim all on my way like Michael Phelps. Take a dive in, they done did worse. Bitches diving in too, they coming head first. Yeah, you might catch me at the top. I'm at a higher altitude, I got too far to drop. I got too much to lose and we way too hard to stop. We got way too much to prove, underrated by a lot. And get love from the women, got the features from my pops. No, you ain't nothing like Tyler War. My Dallas killers pack a 50 buck of fire more. We marching with the man and shooting like the Final Four. And my Carolina 9s worth the mic like me. Like me. No, you ain't nothing like me. No, nigga, you ain't nothing like me. No, you ain't nothing like me. I hear these niggas rap, they ain't nothing like me. No, they ain't nothing like me. No, No, nigga, you ain't nothing like me. Cause I be round the map like a fucking sightseeing. And I be speaking facts, you ain't nothing like me. No, you ain't nothing like me. I hate these niggas rap, they ain't nothing like me. Cause I be round the map like a fucking sightseeing. And I be speaking facts, you ain't nothing like me. No, you ain't nothing like me. In every bar movie, and I feel like Spike Lee. With a couple women and they all white me. No, you ain't nothing like me. Nigga, I ain't new to this, I'm truly true to this. I reached the heights and I pursued this and brought my goonies with. Call me king, cause how I'm doing, I'm assuming rulership. I'm just trying to get my niggas out the can like tuna fish. You ain't hit me, better Google it, them bitches drool a bit. When you see me at the food with it, a rapper lunatic. I be acting like I'm packing cause I got the tool equipped. Shorty giving up the break, she heard I like I'm studious. But she know I'm dropping gems like a clumsy jeweler did. I might show up with some Timbs and the fucking ruler clip. I might come around again and let some other shooters spit. I be working with the 4 like my job is 2 to 6. Let me flip it back. Niggas couldn't match me playing pity back. See me with my chain ring, shit and put my fitted hat. Niggas thought I lost it, but I lost it when I get it back. I'm a niggas top 5 and I ain't really in the rap. No, you ain't nothing like me. No, nigga, you ain't nothing like me. You ain't nothing like me. I hear these niggas rap, they ain't nothing like T. No, nigga, you ain't nothing like me. I hear these niggas rap, they ain't nothing like me. And I be running mad like I fucking sightsee. Cause I be seeking facts, you ain't nothing like me. No, you ain't nothing like me. Every bar movie and I feel like Spike Lee. With a couple women and they all white feet, might be. No, you ain't nothing like me. No, you ain't nothing like me. No, nigga, you ain't nothing like me. You ain't nothing like T. No, nigga, you ain't nothing like me. Like me. No, these niggas they ain't nothing like me. Like me. No, you ain't nothing like T.
Yeah. I stay away from the streets and the trouble to get in. Trying to stay strong in this world full of sin, but they wanna bring us down, they wanna see us win. They wanna kill us all, Lord, tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live? Can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? I know the hatred's deeper than the color of your skin. So can I live? Can a nigga live? Can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? Know the hatred's deeper than the color of your skin. Can I live?
American KKK. Land of the good, smokers, home of the slaves. And I'm just trying to be great. Tell me, how can I live with this drama every day? I'm a light, I'm a beam in this darkness. It seems that real life is a nightmare. Cannot live my dreams on this earth. Since I was young, I realized I had a destiny. Bigger than the facial test, disguises what was best for me. Better than the hate and all the lies that lead to death of me. As a place since we've been hypnotized since elementary. Thought it was my skin, but studied something that was new to me. They hate me because of what my ancient ancestors used to be. Killers, teachers, deities, not all of them were kings and queens. Our nature was natural, not supernatural. Now they call it magic and voodoo, that shit ain't practical. All the rules connected, always wanna learn the natural. Don't let the shit go over your head. Same snakes up in the garden, but the skin just shed. They'll always try to convince you that it's all in your head. Just know you gotta do better before you hit your bed. I stay away from the streets and the trouble to get in. Trying to stay strong in this world full of sin, but they wanna bring us down, they don't wanna see us win. Trying to kill us all, Lord, tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live? Tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? I know the hate is deeper than the color of our skin. Can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live? Tell me, can I live? I know the hate is deeper than the color of our skin.
Yeah. They say my rhymes cause too much excitement, ride incitement, shit. Well, there's no indictments when my kinfolk get murdered by white men. Dark skin, light skin, divided and blinded. So we beef with each other, all brothers, rather than fight them. Fuck all that silence, it's time to get shit ignited. I ain't my way, little nigga. I ain't taking shit for no tars. And ain't no motherfucking nation got freedom from marching, begging for portions. Niggas ain't signing no portions, big payback. You crackers got red in your margins. Why? They broke every tree and slaughtered the buffalo, and then they set fire to teepees. They caught their face in mountains, but we go to jail for graffiti. We fought for this country, they gave us syphilis and Tuskegee. We been getting robbed, yeah, we're the ones who stay behind bars. They take all our money, but they ain't wanna give us no jobs. Wasn't supposed to make it, but we stay defying the odds. It's like we really only living off the grace of our God. Can I live without getting harassed by the Sarge? Can I live without getting slammed in my car? Can I live long enough to raise my kids? Can I live long enough to see justice? Yo, can I live without getting harassed by the Sarge? Can I live without getting slammed on my car? Can I live long enough to raise my kids? Can I live long enough to see justice? I stay away from the streets and the trouble to get it. Trying to stay strong in this world full of sin, but they wanna bring us down, they wanna see us win. They wanna kill us all, Lord, tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live? Can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? I know the hatred's deeper than the color of your skin. So can I live? Can a nigga live? Can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? Know the hatred's deeper than the color of your skin. Can I live?
All right. Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Yah Shabrakatah. It's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Yahanna. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're bringing out this troop since 1969. We are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite groups. This is the Thursday class with Peace Officer Kwam Gawan. Today, we're going to talk about being separate, the situation that's going on in with our Levite brothers, so-called Haitians, and we're going to bring out, some of the laws to go with that. All right. Okay, so the first scripture we're going to bring out is Deuteronomy 7:6. All right, so understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians or First Nation people are holy to the Most High. And what does holy mean? Holy means separate, meaning we are a separate nation to the Most High God, Yahweh. Meaning we are not to take on the practices, customs, the doings of the other nations around us. And the other nations, the Gentile nations, the so-called Edomite, or the Edomite, the so-called white man, the Moabite, which is the Chinese man, the Ammonite, was a Japanese man, East Indian, and so forth. We are a holy and separate nation to the Most High God, meaning the Lord looked down at our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and he loved them. And he chose our fathers. He could have chose anyone, but he chose our fathers. He chose Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So therefore, he chose our ancestors, our fathers, so he chose us. So everything that applies to our ancestors applies to us today as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So with that being said, we are to keep the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. And that's how we become a separate nation. And here in America today, we have fallen short of keeping the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. We have not been a holy people. And that's where, our hell is coming to play. Because the Lord, we don't have the protection of the Lord. So we are being, trodden under the foot of these heathen nations, mainly the white man or the Edomite, the devil that the Bible speaks about. Okay, so, and then we'll get into, what's going on with our brothers, the Levites, the so-called Haitians. But let's get into the scripture first. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou, who's the thou? That's us, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, First Nation people. For thou art an holy people. Remember, holy means separate. Unto the Lord thy God, the Most High Yahweh. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Chosen mean, one who is of object or choice, meaning The Lord could have chose whoever he wants, but he chose us. He chose our ancestors. He chose blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So meaning we are an elect people, meaning that's racism right there in the scriptures. I know a lot of us, in the world don't believe that racism exists in the Bible, but that's racism right there, that the Lord chose a certain group of people above everyone else. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Above all means before. That's what when you hear above all, it means before all the people. There's a lot of people on the face of the earth. Like again, you got the Chinese, the Japanese, the East Indian, you got the Arabs. But the Lord thy God chose blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to be before, above all people on the earth. And this is contingent on you keeping the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High, because the Lord thy God is a righteous God. He's a just God. And you can't be righteous or just if you're not following the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. All right. I'm going to read that again from the top. Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Again, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, First Nation people are to be a holy people, separate, meaning no matter where you're at in America, which is North America, South America, the Middle East, all over the globe, wherever you're at, you are to keep the laws, statutes, and commands of the Most High. You are to be separate from other nations. And I understand that in our neighborhoods, in the ghettos, in the barrios, all over the, whatever town or borough you live in, you may have some heathens living there as well. You may have heathens, doing heathen practices. What are heathen practices? Things like Christmas, celebrating birthdays, eating pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. But you got Thanksgiving, Juneteenth, St. Patrick's Day, Easter. I mean, I can go on. We know what these things are, but these are customs of heathen nations. These are not customs of our ancestors, of our Father, of the Most High God, Yahweh. These are not customs of our God, which means that you are not to do them or to follow them, no matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you're in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New York, Europe, Russia. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you're an Israelite, you're a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, First Nation man or woman, you are to keep the laws and statutes and commands of the Most High. And in this Bible that we, which is our, Constitution, there's over 600 laws in it, and we are to keep every single one. And the law, and like it says in the scriptures, the laws are not grievous. They're not hard to keep, black man. They're not hard to keep, black woman. And by you keeping these laws, statutes, and commands, it will benefit you, because the last thing you want to do is have the Most High God not in your favor, turning his head, giving you his back, not with you when the heathen nations come to destroy you. That's the last thing you want. And that's what's going on now. Like, especially like the situation with our brothers, the Levite brothers, the so-called Haitians. Our brothers, it said something over about, we'll read the article, but over about 14,000 of our Levite brothers were leaving, Haiti, over to, to the, the Texas or the border or whatnot, near Mexico. And they're being oppressed, and, leaving their country, they're being oppressed. They left, their country or the residence because of oppression. Of course, it's like, horrible conditions there. And they wanted to come over to the States because, they're hearing that, the mayor had so-called passed a law that, basically the conditions will be better over here because some of their families were already here. And, they passed a law that, some of the Haitians would have better conditions here, better living conditions. So they want to flee that oppression and come over to the States. But what you see at the border is, the white man who's the devil that the Bible speaks about, oppressing our people, pulling out their reins, their whips, chasing them down on horses with cowboy hats, looking like the savages that they are. While these people are, our brothers and sisters are, trying to cross the river, and, with their children, older women, young women, men, and they're just trying to get to, a better situation. But of course, the white man, he has no care for our people. and he wants to, he wants to make sure that you don't, get in any situation where you are comfortable. So this is what's going on. We'll read some of the article. We'll get into that. But basically, again, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And again, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, this is always talking about us. And the reason why we're going through these things with these oppressors is because we have not been keeping the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. That's how we were even brought over here on cargo slave ships and being in the situations to be oppressed by this devil, because we have not been keeping the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. So when the Lord turns his back to you, to us, the oppressor deals with us in a wicked manner. And if you're not keeping God's laws and statutes, commands, ain't no telling what could happen to you. It could be fatal. It could be, some type of oppression or whatever it may be. But if we don't have God's protection, these are the type of things that happen to us. All right. So, and again, we become a holy nation by keeping the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. That's how we become holy and separate. It doesn't matter where we're at. We can be in the projects. We can be in the ghettos, in the barrios. But if we're keeping the law, statutes, commands of the Most High, the projects can be a better situation than living in a mansion if you're keeping the law, statutes, commands of the Most High, because we won't sin against each other. We'll be keeping God's commands, and the Most High will bless us. It doesn't matter where we live at. It matters if we're keeping the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. All right. So we're going to get to the next verse. And this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Hearken means to listen. We know hearken means to listen. And if you didn't know, that's what it means, to listen diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Now, what is listening to the voice of the Lord thy God? What's in these scriptures? The prophets that already, that are already in this Bible. You have the book of Deuteronomy. What do we have? Leviticus. We got the book of Isaiah, Jeremiah, Revelation. These are all from Black men. Blacks, Hispanics, or Native Indian men. And they are the prophets. And that's the voice of the Lord thy God. His rules, laws, commands are in this Bible. They're in this Bible. Okay. So, and also, that's the men in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yahanna. That will be the voice of the Lord thy God, because Commanding General Yahanna follows Yahweh, Christ, as they ignorantly call him, and Yahweh, the Most High God. So that will be the voice of the Lord thy God. When you're keeping the laws, statutes, and commands of the Most High, and you're carrying out the laws and statutes and commands in the Bible, that's the voice of the Lord thy God. And once again, give Commanding General Yahanna a hand for what he's done. I don't know if everyone's seen it, but Commanding General Yahanna sent out his captain, his officers, and they did a great job to meet our Haitian brothers, our Levite brothers and sisters, with food, support, and just being there for our people. I mean, and nobody else does that but Commanding General Yahanna. These fake Israelite groups won't do that. Certainly, your Christian churches won't do that. You're not going to see anyone in the Muslim mosques do that. But Commanding General Yahanna really cares about his people. He loves his people. Okay, you know what I mean? He loves his people, and he's going to support his people. And what he did was just a great thing. And it just to be in the ISUPK and to know that we have a leader like that is just a great feeling, to know that we actually have a leader who actually keeps the laws and statutes and commands of the Most High and lives it. It just lets you know that you're in the right place. So again, give Commanding General Yahanna a hand for that, because he's doing great things. And I'm just happy to be an officer in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yahanna, under the captains and the officers above me. Okay, so again, Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments. To observe, meaning you might not be familiar with the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. You might have grew up in a Christian church, and you might have been lied to, like a lot of us. A lot of us grew up in the Baptist church or whatnot. We've been lied to. But once you see these ISUPK videos, you understand that Commanding General Yahanna is the leader over this nation, and over he's the best man on with 2 feet in America today, and his generals and his captains and his officers. Once you find that out, okay, and you observe these laws, statutes, and commands. I mean, you hear them, you see the videos, you observe them, and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So once you get these laws, statutes, and commands, when these priests come out in the camps and they're telling you, brother, sister, put that weed down, leave that pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster alone. Don't have sex with whores. Brothers, don't kill your brothers. Don't hate your brothers in your heart. When don't get out of that Christian church. Don't worship Caesar Borgia. Okay, when you learn these things and you hear them, you got to take that in. You have to observe, and you need to do it. Keep these laws, statutes, and commands of the Most High. Like the scripture says, these laws are not grievous. They're not hard to do. The men in the ISUPK, the women, we were in the world at one time, and we came out of the world, and we keep the laws, statutes, and commands of the Most High. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. And it's better to be with the Most High than against him. Because if you're not keeping his laws, statutes, and commands, you're against the Most High. And that can be, detrimental to you. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Okay, so again, observe these scriptures and the prophets in the Bible. And of course, they're always blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. They're nobody else. It's not the white man. It's not the Chinese man, the Japanese man. Everything in this Bible is has to deal with us, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Get into class, get in, in Pittsburgh, we have, like today, the Thursday night class. We have classes in the ISUPK Monday through Friday. You can get online. We have them damn near in every city. Okay. From 7 to 9, get in here, learn this truth, sign in, become a trooper, take your officer's test, become an officer. And again, Commander General Yahanna is the only man who has the truth, and he's trained his generals, his officers, and he serves Yahweh Shah, and it follows the Most High God Yahweh. Okay. Again, like I said, when you listen to the men of the ISUPK, or you're getting these scriptures, you reading the scriptures, that's the voice of the Lord thy God, and that's how you know it's the truth. Okay, because we keep the law, statutes, commands in here. All right. Go to the next scripture. Okay, so now we'll get into a little bit about when you don't keep the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. How certain things can happen to you. Just like, the things that's going on with our brothers, at the border, the oppression that they're facing. Just trying to, flee. Get some refuge. Just trying to, get in a better situation. And how fast does America forget that there was once a time when America, or the so-called Americans, or the 13 colonies, were being oppressed by the British Crown, and they wanted refuge. They wanted to be free for the taxation they were receiving from the British monarchy, and they fought like hell. That's what people are going to do, or they're going to seek a better situation. But it's just it shouldn't be surprising to you that when it's a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, when we want to get out of those situations, we want to get a better situation. We want to be be offered the same opportunities that other nations get. We got to be beat over the head, beat with whips and reins. We got to be chased while we have our children over our head, walking through the river. These are the type of things that we have to deal with. And of course, it happens to us because they know that we're the children of the Most High. We are the favorite nation that the Most High loves, contingent on keeping the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. I mean, he loves us regardless, but we don't benefit from the the blessings if we don't keep the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. All right, so we can get to the scripture. Deuteronomy 28 and 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. Groping is to look for something. Like, let's imagine somebody blind and they're in the darkness and they're reaching for something, trying to get somewhere and get something. But this is going to happen in broad day. It just lets you know that you're walking blindly. Okay, this is one of the curses that we face. As the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. Okay, oppressed is like a burden of abuse by like a power of authority. Like, so you're being oppressed by someone who has more power than you, and they're oppressing you just simply because they're more powerful than you, not because it's right, but just because they have more power than you. All right, that's what oppression is, and that's what the so-called devil, the white man, does to us. He oppresses us because he just has the authority and power over us. And the only reason why he has that power over us is because we have not been serving our God the correct way. like I said, here in America, by us eating pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, going into the Christian church, serving Cesar Borgia, listening to these lying Christian pastors, going into the Muslim mosque, smoking weed, celebrating holidays. This is why the so-called the white man, the devil that the Bible speaks about, is allowed to rule over us. That's why that's happening. That's what oppression is. And spoiled evermore. You know what it means to be spoiled? It means to be robbed, pillaged, robbed. We are a spoiled people. You know, we've been spoiled, you know, many times over. And we're spoiled here in America. Just imagine of all the brothers and sisters that put their blood, sweat, and tears into, you know, working to have something. You know, I mean, you see it all the time with these celebrities, like these athletes, these boxers, these, you know, basketball players. They go all these years putting in work, amazing, doing amazing things, major entertainment, drawing all this money, you know, a big fan base. And then what happens? They end up broke. They end up broke, you know, worse than the conditions they were when they came into, you know, into their money. And it's because we are a spoiled people. The white man will spoil you. He will, you know, he'll use you for your talents. And then when your talents run out, he gets rid of you, find somebody to replace you. You end up broke. He ends up more rich than he was. This is how it goes. That's a curse. That's one of the curses. That's why it says you will be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save you. Don't think that no damn sure no Edomite or no white man is going to save you. You're going to be spoiled and oppressed and not going to save you. And this ties into, you know, like for example, we got the Biden administration, Joe Biden, right? We as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians voted for Joe Biden. I mean, not nobody in the ICK particularly, but in the world, a lot of our people have voted for Joe Biden, thinking that this man is going to do something great for you. And what do they do? What does Joe Biden do? What does the Joe Biden administration do? They you know, he signs into law, you know, stimulus checks, child tax credits. And, you know, if you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man or woman, you know, this is like the greatest thing to you. You know, you're getting $1,400, $600, you know, you're getting $300 every month for every child, you know, I mean, and, you know, you broke, you're living in the projects, you're struggling, you know, you can barely make ends meet. And then, you know, here comes a president that signs all these laws into, you know, effect. And it looks like, oh, this guy's a savior because because all you want is a crumb. You just, you know, you've been so used to, you know, slavery and having nothing that as soon as somebody comes along and gives you any little crumb, you're willing to believe anything they say. You want to support them and think that they're really with you. But again, you know, Joe Biden is not going to save you. You can't look for any other nations or any of these Gentile heathen nations to save you. The only savior is the Most High God, Yahweh. Okay? So, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. What does it mean to not prosper? You're not going to succeed in anything. It may look like you're getting a little bit of money. It may look like you you making it out the hood. It may look like, you know, you're getting something because you got a $50,000 vehicle, you got a nice house, and it may look like you're doing something, but guess what? You're not going to succeed in anything if you're not keeping the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. You know, the white man might throw you a few crumbs. He might let you in his NBA, his NFL, his ML, Major League Baseball. You know what I mean? Some brothers, you know, it don't really happen that much. You might make it into the NHL. You know, you might be, you know, glorious in track and field and Usain Bolt. There's many other people that's, you know, been in that. But at the end of the day, the point is, if you're not keeping the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High, it's not going to last. It's not. Because you don't have the Most High's protection. And the devil, the white man, the devil that the Bible, you know, the devil, he's not going to, you know, he's going to use you up until you can't use you no more. He's going to throw you away and find somebody else to replace you. Somebody younger, he's going to use them up, and it's going to be the same process. That's what he does. All right. So I'm gonna bring out this little article about Joe Biden. Remember, you know, we voted for Joe Biden. You know, our people as a whole voted for Joe Biden, thinking that he was going to do something great for us, and he's going to, you know, stop the oppression and this and that. But let's see who, you know, Joe Biden really is. Okay, let's see what Joe Biden's got going on. Okay, this is an article. It's from The Intercept. It's called "In Targeting Haitians, Biden may execute the largest mass expulsion of asylum seekers in recent history. So, if you didn't know, President Joe Biden is trying to, expose these people, our so-called brothers, so-called Haitians, but our brothers and sisters Levites, out of the border back into to their land, or where they came from. So, instead of dealing with them in a of course a welcoming manner, and supporting them, and maybe helping them get into a better situation, he wants to get them out of here. And that's what the devil will do. He has no sympathy for our people. All right. So here's the article. Less than a year after entering office with vows to bring a new humanitarian approach to the nation's immigration system, this is what he promised before he got elected. See, these are the type of things that they promise you before they actually get elected. But then when they get elected, all that changes. Once they get your vote, then here comes the devil. This is who he really is. The Biden administration is carrying out what could be the largest mass expulsion of would-be asylum seekers in recent American history. And they're trying to get into a better situation. They're trying to seek refuge from an oppressive situation. Okay. And this is how Joe Biden is dealing with them. Virtually none of those being removed from the country, nearly all of whom are Black, have received their day in court, nor will they under the administration's current plan. Nearly all of the expelled, including families and children, will be flown to Haiti, a country the administration itself characterized as a state teetering on the brink of collapse last month. So even the Biden administration admitted that this is a horrible situation for our brothers and sisters, but they want to send them back there. But he claimed to be such a humanitarian when he got in office, or when he was looking in office. He was going to do this for Black people. He was going to do that for Black people. You're not Black if you don't vote for Joe Biden, right? This is what he said, right? Okay. With explosions already underway and expected to intensify in the coming days, advocates are bracing for an already horrifying human rights nightmare to become far more dangerous. And this is what the lady has to say about it. Her name is Nicole Phillips. I can't think of a worse way of handling the situation. Nicole Phillips, a legal director at a Haitian Bridge Alliance, a San Diego-based nonprofit, told The Intercept. In recent weeks, upward of 14,000 men, women, and children, the vast majority of them Haitian nationals, began gathering under a bridge in the Texas border town of Del Rio. Over the weekend, Border Patrol agents on horseback descended on the crowd, swinging their reins like whips, charging at people carrying bags of food, shouting at them to go back to Mexico, and pushing them into the swift waters of the Rio Grande. It's lucky, but the white man is a damn devil that the Bible speaks about. Just imagine what's going on here. Our brothers and sisters are trying to seek refuge, but the white man out there with his whips, his cowboy hat, as the savage that he is, he beating them. Go back to Mexico. Go back. You know what I mean? This is what he does. And of course, Joe Biden is all for it. This is the president that we elected, right? This is the guy that's going to change all the oppression. You're not Black if you don't vote for Joe Biden, right? You sign, you get stimulus checks, child tax credit. This is your savior, right? This is our savior, right? But what does he say? He's trying to send them back into a bad situation. And I'm gonna prove that too. We're gonna grab something else out of here. Okay. Now this is the devil that the Bible speaks about. This is why you cannot trust the white man, right? Now this is 1994. This is long before he, was considered for any presidential run or anything. But this is who he really is. Now watch this. Okay, this is back in 1994. It's a clip of Joe Biden saying it wouldn't matter if Haiti sunk into the sea. Okay, so this is what he said. All right. A 3-decade-old clip of U.S. This is from The Independent. There's another article called The Independent. A 3-decade-old clip of U.S. President Joe Biden saying it would not matter if Haiti sunk has resurfaced as his administration faces a backlash for its handling of the influx of Haitian immigrants. The remarks were made by Mr. Biden in 1994 during an interview with PBS when he was a senator of Delaware. All right, so basically he said at one point in 1994, when he was a senator of Delaware, that he didn't care if Haiti was to sink. Of course, why would he care? There's Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians there. Why would he care about them? All right. And just so it shouldn't surprise you today that, his administration is a supportive of, devils or his devil, people oppressing our people as they try to, get into a better situation to seek refuge. So this shouldn't be a surprise to you. But, we don't like to do research on people. We like to believe, whatever's thrown up in our face, we accept that as, face value, and we just believe it. If somebody does something that's so-called, nice for us, or, something that we think is going to benefit us, short term, but then long term we suffer for it. And this is what's happening to us. Joe Biden and his administration in America is showing you what they really are about. They hate us. They look at us as niggas, spicks, and coons. They are, niggas and spicks, wetbacks, and they do not love us, and they never will. And that's just the truth about it. It's never going to change, no matter what they give you. And like I said, that was just to get him in office, and then the real person will show his true colors. All right. Okay. First, and I don't know if if you didn't know that our brothers why they were coming to the border. I'm gonna read a little bit about that. Back in May, Mayorkas, this is the mayor of I believe of Texas, announced an 18-month temporary protective status for Haitians already residing in the U.S., which now applies to Haitians in the country as of July 29th. Mayorkas has cited security concerns, social unrest, an increase in human rights abuses, crippling poverty, and lack of basic resources, which are exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so these conditions that our brothers are in and sisters are in are very bad, very bad. It's a very bad situation. So he put some action into making the situation better for the Levite brothers that are already here. So of course, the Haitians, they heard about this and they want to come over here because they want to escape from those oppressive situations that they're already in. They want to come into a better situation. But of course, you got the devil, the white man, who meets him at the border, and he wants to beat them back and to where they're at, into their bad situation. And I mean, this is what they do. Okay. Here's another little article. It's called "What Are the Critics Saying?" Patrice Lawrence leads the group Undocu Black, which advocates for undocumented Black people in the U.S. She writes for CNN that the Biden administration should be distinguishing itself from the Trump administration. So here you go. This is heavy, because the Biden administration is no different than the Donald Trump administration. See, we thought because Donald Trump got out of office and we got Joe Biden, that Joe Biden was going to come to the relief and the help of Black people. But he's not doing anything different than Donald Trump was doing. See, this is how they fool you. They get Kamala Harris as the vice president, in which most women in the world thought that she was a Black woman, which is far from the truth. We know she's a East Indian or something like that. And this is how they play us. This is how they play us. They've been playing us for so long, for over 400 years in America, and we just continue to keep falling for this stupidity. But again, the Biden administration should be distinguishing itself from the Trump administration and allowing for a more orderly asylum process rather than flying Haitians back to Haiti. This woman is saying, we should be welcoming these people into a safe situation and helping them. But of course, we want to be like Donald Trump and flying back to Haiti. This is no different than building a wall, in Mexico. This is no different. This is Donald Trump again. It's no different. The Biden administration could have made a strong statement in favor of due process and dignity by allowing for an orderly asylum process. Instead, it has opted for mass expulsions of vulnerable people. On the other side of the spectrum is Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott and his wall of police cars. So when the brothers and sisters were trying to get over here, you got this governor who made an order to have police cars lined up so they can't get past. This is what the devil does. This is what he does. He never changes his stripes. This is the devil for you. This is the white man. This is what he says. Listen to this. This is how America really feels about you, Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian men and women. This is how they really feel about you. When you have an administration that is not enforcing the law in this country, when you have an administration that has abandoned any pretense of securing the border and securing our sovereignty, you see the onrush of people like what we saw walking across the dam that is right behind me. Abbott said at a news conference in Naval Verde County. So he's mad at Joe Biden and the administration because, you know, the people are crossing, you know, the border trying to seek refuge. But he's saying, you know, our country was built on, basically what he's saying is our country is built on, you know, get these niggas out of here, oppress these niggas, don't let them in here. You know, white supremacy. This is really what he's saying. He might as well just say that. And, you know, he's saying that they're not, you know, America's not, you know, Joe Biden, they're not keeping these laws. They're not keeping, you know, what the country was built on. That lets you know what the country was built on. You know, you want to call yourself an African American, you want to think that you're going to be equal to the white man here in America. It's never been that way. This country was not built on you being equal to them or you having a piece or part of anything in America. It's never been that way. All right. And then he says, people like this, like people like what? They don't even consider you a human being. They still, you know, think you're, you know, what is it, 3/5 of a man? So he's saying these people behind me, and he lines us police squad cars up or whatever to block them from getting in. But this is the true nature of the white man. This is the true nature of the devil. You know what I mean? This is who he is. So, you know, mounted border agents were filmed using aggressive tactics, drawing condemnation. Mayorkas said on CNN that he was that he was horrified by the images. So, you know, this mayor was like, you know, seeing the images of these people being aggressive, using aggressive tactics, you know, beating us, you know. I mean, think about this, sisters and brothers, you know, carrying their children on their, if you ever seen the pictures, they're carrying their children on their, you know, on their shoulders, trying to get to this river, these horrible conditions. And you got the white man on this horse with a damn cowboy hat, you know, beating them back. Get out of here. Like we're not welcome here. You know, let's not forget, you damn devils, that this country was inhabited by our people first. Okay. The First Nation people are Israelites. Okay. They were here first. So you came and took the land off of our people first. Okay. You know, if anyone's an immigrant, it's you. All right. So understand that. All right. So the Biden administration is using a Trump era COVID policy to fly thousands of Haitians back to Port-au-Prince after days of detaining them in the U.S. and left them there, causing chaos at the airport there. So they're using, you know, COVID as a reason, you know, of course, to not, you know, let him come in here. That's what he's going to do, and make it seem like he's just not a racist bastard. And you know, which is, you know, we're all for racism, but you know, about our own people. But he's trying to make it seem like, you know, he just doesn't want to say, you niggas get the hell out of here. That's basically Salaki. That's what he really wants to say. And you know, he's showing it through his actions. Let's get the next scripture. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. I read that again. Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Never trust a damn white man, the devil. You know, the Bible says he's the devil, the deceiver, the liar. Never trust him. I don't care if Joe Biden gives you stimulus checks, child tax credits. He beefs up your food stamps. You know, you're getting $5,000 in food stamps. You know, some of our sisters are getting food stamps. You know what I mean? Or, you know, some of the brothers too. But just because he, you know, these things are, you know, you get these little crumbs. Don't ever trust your enemy. You know, take the crumbs, you know, because we are in our slavery here. We are, you know, in hell. So you need everything you can, you know, to survive here. You know, along with, you know, the Most High's, you know, help by keeping his laws, his commands. But don't trust this devil. Don't trust him. All right. As iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So how do we, you know, trust Joe Biden? You voted for him. You voted for him. You got him in office. You know, Trump got out and you brought in the Biden administration. And guess what? The Biden administration is a Trump administration part 2. That's all it is. Donald Trump is still in office. You know what I mean? He's still in office. You know, we trusted this man. You know, you thought Joe Biden was, you know, a champion for black people. If you didn't vote for Joe Biden, you weren't black, right? That's what he told you, right? You believed it. We believed it, right? You know, but like I said, never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You know, iron rusts for a very long time. And the white man is going to be wicked for a very long time. He might, like it says in the following verse, he might crouch down. He might appear to be meek and low, but he's just waiting for that time that for you to be, you know, drop your guard, be vulnerable, and he'll attack. That's what he's going to do. That's what his nature is. He's a murderer from the beginning. That's who he is. So again, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Lock you. Okay, let's get into the next verse here. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. This is heavy. This is, I mean, just think about our brothers and sisters traveling at the Rio River. Just imagine, men, walking with their, the seed, their daughter, the son on their neck, the women, protecting their young. Lamentations 4:18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. We can't travel in the streets of North America, the cities, towns, and boroughs without worrying about the police stopping you, pulling you over, harassing you, beating you over the head, slam you down on the ground and then put his knee on your neck and suffocate you till you die for the world to see. Like I said, our Haitian brothers and sisters are crossing, crossing this river and being whipped and beat with reins, and whatnot, by these cowboys, these savages, thugs. But that's why this verse is so heavy. Lamentations 4:18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. Our end is come. And the they is the so-called white man and the devil. That's they, the Edomites and other heathen nations, that we cannot go in our streets. What's our streets? The ghettos, the barrios, the projects, the inner city, wherever we're at. They hunt our steps wherever we're at. It doesn't matter where we're at. And this is heavy. I mean, just think about all that terror, right? That the so-called, that the Arab nations have brought to America. They have blown up buildings, committed all type of terrorism, right? But yet and still, you never see a damn Arab get pulled over in a car or get beat over his head or choked out. You don't see any Africans getting beat up, choked out, arrested, brutalized. You don't see that happening to them. Even though all these other nations commit crimes, like, who's more of a terrorist than the Arab? I mean, what happened in 9/11? But yet and still, us being the most destroyed people all over the earth, having nothing, having no power whatsoever, we're the ones that's targeted. That just lets you know that we're under these curses. That's why, that's what's in this Bible. There's curses in this Bible that we're suffering because we're not keeping the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. That's why this is able to happen to us. That's why it's so heavy that we get in this truth and keep these laws, statutes, and commands, because we don't have any protection other than the Most High God. It's the only protection that we have. Again, Lamentations 4:18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Okay? So again, the they is the so-called, white man. They hunt our steps. We're not safe here without the protection of the Most High God. And this is the type of things that our brothers, the Levites are experiencing, trying to get up here for refuge. They're being hunted. Their steps are being hunted. Okay? All right, let's get into the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31:17. And again, this ties into, because we're not keeping the law, statutes, commands of the Most High, that's why these curses of these things are able to happen to us, because we're being disobedient to our God. All right. If we were following the law, statutes, commands of the Most High, these things wouldn't be able to happen to us. We probably wouldn't have came over here on cargo slave ships. Our Levite brothers and sisters wouldn't be getting harassed and attacked at the border while they're, trying to seek refuge. The police wouldn't be able to murder us. 1 in every 1,000 black men wouldn't be killed by police. These are facts. These are statistics. Okay. These are things that are really happening. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31:17. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, means leave them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured. That's what's happening. That's what we're being devoured all over the globe, all over America, North, South, Middle East, Europe, wherever we're at. We're being devoured by these Gentile nations, destroyed, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, Are not these evils come upon us because our God is not among us? See, there it is. And this is back in this is Moses during the time of Moses. Because of their disobedience, and he saw what they were doing then, that these curses and stuff was going to befall them. And it's the same thing with us today, because we continue to still do the sins that our ancestors did and not follow the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. These curses never leave. They stay. They don't go anywhere. Doesn't matter. Like I said, if you try to pick up and go leave to another country, another state, whatever, these curses are going to follow you if you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man or woman and not keeping the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. These curses are going to follow you. Deuteronomy 31:17. Then my anger shall be kindled against them. Them is us, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, in that day. And I will forsake them, leave us. And I will hide my face from them. That's what you don't want to happen, because when the Most High hides his face from you, it's open season on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians by the heathen nations. And they shall be devoured. You know what devoured means, right? Destroyed. That's what's happening to us. And many evils and troubles shall befall them, and shall befall them. Many evils and troubles. Sounds like our Levite brothers or Haitian brothers at the border. Many evils shall befall them. That's an evil, that the white man is riding on horses with his Mountie hats and cowboy hats or whatever, and beating our men and women while they trying to seek refuge. That's an evil. All right. So that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us because our God is not among us? All right. So that just lets you know it ties in, what happened before, what our ancestors is happening now, because we're doing the same thing that they were doing back then, not keeping his law, statutes, and commands. So that's why these things are happening to us. All right. Let's get into the next one. All right. Okay. Deuteronomy 27:1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And this is getting into what the Lord told us what we needed to do to prevent being beat over the head by these devils, to prevent, being oppressed, and, being in a situation where we have to seek refuge to another place because the oppression is so bad where we're at our former residence, or where we live at. And this is always happened to us over time. I mean, this happened in, ancient Rome. It happens today. And it keeps happening continually because we're not keeping the law, statutes, and commands. 27:1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. Keep all of them. It doesn't mean keep one, keep two. Only do the 10 commandments, which ignorantly the Christian church teaches you. But all the law, statutes, and commands. What does that consist of? Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and woman. You can't eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. You can't smoke weed. You can't celebrate holidays. I know you grew up, Christmas, Christmas presents under the tree. I know your mother and father used to take you, Halloween, dress you up, take you for Halloween. I know you had that dried turkey during Thanksgiving and that pig, that ham, I know these things happen. I know you've been celebrating birthdays for 20, 30 years. And then, the ASHPK comes in the Commander General Yahanna and tell you that, no, that's wrong. And it's like, it's a shock to you, right? It's a shock to us. But guess what? And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And when we're telling you this, we're letting you know what Moses told the people. We're letting you know what Yahushua told his people, that we are to keep the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. This is what Commander General Yahanna has taught us in the ASHPK. We keep the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. That is your rest. That is your safe haven from the oppression of the world, of these Gentile nations. Keeping the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. We can't say that enough. That is our problem here, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and woman. That is our problem. Keep all the laws. Keep all the laws. Okay, let's get to the next one. All right. Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Again, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. What does the Lord hate? What does he despise? Your feast days. What is the feast days? Thanksgiving, Christmas, what is that? 4th of July. We want to celebrate, pull the grill out, throw some meat on the grill, smoke some weed to the day that, July 4th, Independence Day, when, the white man gained his independence from, the British, the other white people oppressing them. And, they come over here and murder and rape, our brothers and sisters, the tribe of Gad, the Indians, the so-called Indians, we're Israelites. That's what we want to do. We want to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Brothers and sisters want to walk around with green on and be Black Irish. This is what we do. This is what we want to do. Those are feast days. But we've got coming up October 11th, we got Columbus Day, right? We want to celebrate Columbus Day. What we going to do? Pull out the grill, right? We're going to pull out the grill on Columbus Day and celebrate this damn heathen who murdered and raped our people. We're going to smoke some weed to that. That's what we're going to do. Thanksgiving and Christmas. These are feast days. I despise your feast days. I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. You're gathering together. That's what you do on these days. You gather together with your family, right? On Thanksgiving. You gather together with your family on Christmas, right? You listen to music. You eat foods that sacrifice to other gods. This is what we do. He hates and he despises this. So Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and woman, when you partake in these days, when you partake in Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, St. Patrick's Day, Columbus Day, Easter, when you partake in these things, the Lord hates it. And guess what? He turns his back towards you. And guess what? Now it's open season on Israel. Now these heathen nations can have their way with you because you want to be like them. You want to take on their customs. You want to do what they do. So the Most High say, okay, go ahead. You want to be like these people. You want to worship with them and worship them over doing what I'm telling you to do. I'll let them have you. And that's why they're able to kill you the way they are. That's why the white man's able to kill you the way he is. That's why the police can beat you over the head and, you can be thrown in jail. You can be locked up for child support. You're born in these ghettos, these barrios. You're oppressed. You can barely got enough to survive, to eat. And this is why it's happening, because we won't keep the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. All right. Okay, so let me see here. And even in the book of Exodus 32:1, the Israelites did that then under Moses. Exodus 32:1. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us out of Egypt, the land of Egypt, we know not what is become of him. Is when Moses, went and talked to the Most High, or to the angels, and was getting in the commands. Exodus 32:2. And Aaron said to them, because Aaron, he left Aaron in charge, his brother, break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons and your daughters, and bring them unto me. And then they made a golden calf. And then they had skip down. Let me see. Okay, Exodus 32:5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. What does that sound like? Thanksgiving, Christmas. This is what we're doing, having feasts to man-made gods. And it pisses the Lord off. And this is why we're being punished the way we are, like these nations being able to rule over us. All right. 32:8, Exodus 32:8. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So this is what, and then it goes on to say in 32:9 that we're a stiff-necked people. And that's exactly what we are, a stiff-necked people. We suffer the pain from these curses. We get locked up, put in jail. The police murder us. We get all types, diseases. We're number one in AIDS, cancer, diabetes. And we're still a stiff-necked people. We still want to celebrate Christmas, Halloween, Easter. We still want to eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. We won't put the weed down. We want to smoke cigarettes. This is the thing. If we can't see this, it's right here. It's right here for us to see. And this is why we need to, like I said, we need to get into these classes and under Commander Yahanna, ISBK under Commander General Yahanna, and learn the truth. Learn the truth. So you can come up out of this hell that we're in, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and woman. We need to come up out of this. And the only way we're going to do it is by keeping these laws, statutes, and commands of the Most High. All right? Okay. So we want to be like these nations, right? And the Lord hates these days, these customs and stuff that they do. But what we don't understand is these people are nothing. They are nothing to the Most High. You're supposed to rule over these people. And this is not my words. This is not Kwamgawan's words. This is in the Bible, and I'm going to show it to you. We're going to get 2nd Ezra 6 and 54. Okay. To be like these people, you're selling yourself short, Israel. We're selling ourselves short because these people are supposed to be under you. You're supposed to be ruling over them. We're supposed to be governing this planet with the law, statutes, commands of the Most High and ruling, being in rulership. Being in the projects is not rulership. Working a job 2 weeks before you get, paid is not rulership. We're not in rulership. We are being ruled over because we are not in control, because we are not listening to our God. But look what the Most High says about these other nations. The Most High doesn't give a damn about these people. He doesn't give a damn about them. And it's in the Bible. 2nd Ezra 6 and 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. Everybody comes of Adam, okay? Everybody comes of Adam. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. So everybody comes from Adam, even the heathen nations. But guess what? There's a certain nation that he chose over all the people. And again, we know that that's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And we read that before in the book of Deuteronomy. 2nd Ezra 6 and 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. The Lord made the world for Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. He made the world for our sakes, contingent on if we keeping the law, statutes, commands. He made it for us, but we ain't going to rule it unless we keeping his law, statutes, and commands. Okay, that's the only way this world is being set in order the right way and being a righteous place, if we keep his law, statutes, and commands. 2nd Ezra 6 and 56. Listen to this. As for the other people, meaning the other nations other than blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing. I'll read it again. As for the other people, other nations, Gentiles, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. And if you don't believe me, I'll spell that word out for you, spittle. S-P-I-T-T-L-E, meaning these people are considered spit to the Most High, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So just imagine if I have this cup here and I drop a little bit of water. It's not going to mean much because what? Because I still have a cup full or half a cup full, whatever. So I still have something to drink. So he looks at them as like, when you get bumped and a little bit of water drops out of your cup, you don't think about it. It's on the ground. Okay, whatever. I got the rest of this. That's what the Most High thinks of these other nations. But he loves blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. But we are his children. We are his chosen people. But we are not keeping his law, statutes, commands. So this is why these curses have found us and we're being punished. And these other nations are able to rule over us because we're not doing what the Most High wants us to do. We are being disobedient. We lack the knowledge of our God. And that's why they are able to dominate us the way they are. That's why at the border, our brothers and sisters are being harassed by these devils. That's why we were brought over here on cargo slave ships, okay? Because we're not keeping God's laws. Get one more out of here. All right. And so after all that, you got to understand that the real Jews, which we are in mourning, okay? We know about the so-called Jewish man who has stolen our identity and calls himself a Jew, but the real Jews are in mourning. So if you're a black man or woman, or you don't understand what your true identity is, your true identity is you're an Israelite, okay? All right. You've been brought over here. Our ancestors were brought over here in slavery on cargo slave ships. The First Nation people were already on this land. Okay. They were Israelites as well, too. They are Israelites as well. And we're going through all these things because we are not keeping God's laws. Okay. So we're going to get Jeremiah 14 and 2. All right. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and 2. Judah mourneth, meaning Judah is like saying, if I say Jew, that's where they get Judah. Jew is short for Judah. Mourneth, meaning the real Jews are in mourning. Who on this earth is in mourning more than black people, Hispanic people, or Native Indian people? Hispanic people, our Hispanic brothers and sisters are on our First Nation people are on the reservations, right? Blacks are in the ghettos, the barrios. We're in the projects, living with rats and roaches, starving. Dealing with all these curses, murdering each other, hooked on drugs. Okay. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. The gates are like, just think of a castle or a place that's gated. The gates are your protection. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians have no protection. Meaning our leadership, the Christian pastors are lying to us. We have no leadership. Our prominent men, we don't have any. except for in the ISJPK under Command of General Yahanna. That's your leadership. That's what you got to recognize. But our leadership is, our gates have languished. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, meaning the real Jews are in mourning. They have no protection, and they are black. Black is a variation of brown. Like if you dig up that soil, you'll get all these different variations of brown. You get from light chalk to dark. And that's how we all, that's how our people are. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. That's how you let you know that the real Jews are black and they are in mourning and they have no protection. And that's what you see our brothers are going through on the border. They have no protection. That's why these savages were able to come and beat on them and try to beat them back and let them, get to a place of refuge. But the ISJPK under Command of General Yahanna, and big shout out to, I believe it's Captain Yatazak and his officers and the men below him. They got down there, assisted our brothers and sisters, and that's what we do here in the ISJPK under Command of General Yahanna. We care about our people. Command of General Yahanna cares about his people, and he showed that. And everybody, it's there for you to see. If you didn't see it, it was a glorious thing to see. But with that, I'm in the class, and again, this is the Thursday class of Pittsburgh. I'm Priest Officer Kwamgwan, and this is the ISJPK under Command of General Yahanna, not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. With that, I'm going to say shalom.